Like Daphne said, my name is Darrell Stewart. I actually am the public sector manager. I manage all of Intel's business for public sector in the Western U.S. I've been at Intel now 15 years. For those of you who are interested in going to computer science, Intel is a great company to work for. Every 7 years, they give us what they call a sabbatical. And on that sabbatical, I get a minimum of 8 weeks up to 12 weeks where I can do whatever I want, and they pay me to do that. I don't have to answer a phone, I don't have to answer emails. And as Tuan knows, I just came back from my second sabbatical. I think I broke Instagram and Facebook with all the pictures and stuff that I took. So there is a place for people that look like you in organizations like Intel, and that's the message of my story today. I got a job working for a startup company, a company called Urban Decision Systems. It's a small company. Somehow they had finagled the federal government to give them about $300 million to put on maps all of the census data. So everybody knows every 10 years the U.S. collects census information on everybody that lives here, right? Up until 1980, they didn't know, they had all this information, but they didn't know what to do with it. So they decided to put it on maps and use that as demographics to see where people actually lived and get information like that. So Urban Decision Systems got this deal, and part of the deal was they got to sell the data. They would plot the data on the map, and then they could turn around and resell it. So at my junior year in college, they were looking for people to sell this data. And so I got this job basically going around to companies, and companies like Taco Bell would use it to figure out, well, there's so many people that make this much money on this corner or in this area, so we're going to put a Taco Bell right there. And that's how I got in the technology business, because we had to show these people, these new marketing people at these companies, what to do with this data and how to process this data and how to analyze this data. So I became an expert in database management. And completely outside of the education that I got, but that was my first step really into technology. Then I worked for Western Union, I worked for AT&T, I worked for Dun & Bradstreet, I worked for Lucent Technologies, and then in 1999, I was looking around for a new job, and Intel was starting a networking business, and they needed folks that knew a little bit about networking, and somehow through my work at AT&T and Lucent, I became a networking guy. Coincidentally, at the same time, the U.S. was giving out millions and millions of dollars to school districts all around the country through this program called E-Rate. And I was Lucent Technologies' E-Rate expert, so Intel hired me. And that's how I got at Intel in late 1999, early 2000. It has been an amazing ride since then. I have met some amazing people, but as Daphne said, quite often when I walk into a room, it doesn't look like this. When I walk into a room and have a meeting with folks, and many times it's boardrooms and auditoriums full of people, it really doesn't look like this. And when I do meet a Hispanic colleague or an African-American colleague, male or female, we almost always give each other a wink because we're one of the few folks out there, right? The game is changing though.